Alrighty, so first things first, as you can see, we're at 484 miles, so let's get over 500 and complete the braking period together. So here we go, 499 bottles of milk on the wall. We got one more and we're gonna cross the 500 mark. Now, I'm not gonna start beating on the car right when it hits 500. Some people do it, YouTubers do burnouts right out of the dealership lot. Other people like to do it right at the 500 mark. I like to go to 1,000 to 1,500 miles before I really start doing Corvette things. So here we go, we're gonna see the 500 mile cutover. There it is, 500. Now give it a second, it's like 500 and a half miles in, it's gonna do the RPM expansion. There it is, right short, just shy of the 501th mile. We have a little bit of opening, so I'll slowly roll into it. Woohoo! Let's go, boys. Full power. So you've now seen me go through the 500 mile mark in the track mode gauges. This is in the sport gauges. I think it's just right that now we get a third Corvette to go through this in the regular gauge mode, so we hit the holy trifecta. Promise we're gonna get to today's video. Got some toys for the local Toys for Tots. If you have events in your area, definitely drop off some toys. You'll be surprised what difference a toy can make for a kid during the holidays. Naturally picked up the C8. The second I saw it, knew that had to be one. We got a Baby Yoda, we got a Vin Diesel Fast and Furious Charger, and a T-Rex. Just, you know, why not? Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Hope you are having a fantastic day. We are back with the 2022 C8.R Corvette. Beautiful horizon line. As you can see, it is almost time for sunset around here, but I wanted to get out here today and try to make a video. It is a little chilly, so I'm going to be speaking a little quicker than I normally do, and I know I speak really fast to begin with. I need to work on that, but today we are going to talk about a little bit of repetitive content for those who are subscribers, but a lot of new content, new things I'm trying with this C8. One of the things that I pride myself on as a C8 Corvette owner and as a YouTuber is I like to share the ownership experience. I like talking about what it's like to own the car, experience it, try various different things with it, so I can give some feedback and some insight in other people making decisions on what they want their C8 Corvette to be. And so I have a full video of what ceramic coating, the 5-year package with the paint protection film and all that stuff cost with the last Corvette. Thankfully, inflation has not hit ceramic coating or paint protection film, so the numbers are pretty consistent from the last video. And right off the bat, the 5-year ceramic pro package on this car, it's already been done, was $1,295. The big thing to talk about is I didn't actually end up doing paint protection film on this car for good reason. I want to try something different. So I have a video that talks about the full cost and everything that I did with the last C8 Corvette. In today's video, with this C8, I want to try a little something different so I can share some feedback, say a year from now, to kind of compare and contrast what I end up doing with this car and how that compares with the XPEL PPF that I did on the other car. And the big thing that I did different is I actually had the interior seats coated with ceramic coating as well. And so I'll get into some of the pricing and some of the numbers on that, what I think my thoughts are and why I ended up doing that with this car as opposed to the last car. You can almost say it's a little bit of learning evolution from the last C8 to this C8, and I look forward to sharing the long-term ramifications that this ceramic coating on the seats have with the car. So full 5-year coating comes with the front face of the wheels for $1,295, but additionally on top of that, $200 more will get you the inside of the wheels, which I think is a really big piece, especially with the Z51 because of the amount of brake just to produce, as well as the calipers. And one thing that the detailer actually called out to me and, you know, pointed out was these calipers are actually different than the 2020. So for those of you who've been following, I ended up having the $200 ceramic coating package done to the inside of the wheels and calipers to the last Corvette. But from 2020 to 2022, I'm not sure about the 21, the yellow calipers are a slightly different shade, or at least that's what I thought, but the finish is actually different. And so in 2020, it was a smooth surface. In 2022, this is a more matte and textured finish on the calipers. So interesting to note there, if you don't end up doing the full 5-year package on the full car, you can do just the front-facing sides of the wheels, the inside of the wheels, and the calipers for $400 as well. But since you pay for the full price for the 5-year package on the car, the wheels end up costing a discount for the inside and the calipers, since the main price also includes the front fascia of the wheels. And the $1,295 for the 5-year package includes the 1-year ceramic pro on the windshield and the front 2 windows as well. Next thing that I had done with overcast, it looks darker, but this is 20% tint on the factory windows. Factory front windows usually come in around, I want to say 70%, so 20% over that's going to put you right around 18. I think it gives it a really nice tone on the interior. It darkens things down a little bit for me. My eyes tend to be a little sensitive to light, so this helps kind of make it a little bit better of a driving experience for me. So the front 2 windows ceramic tint with 20% ran, I think it was like $100, so that's not too bad. Big thing to point out though is that I did not do the windshield brow this time. I had done it on the 2020 Corvette, And after the windshield got smashed and I got some experience out of it, I ended up not doing it for good reason on this car, mainly because if you have the PDR system, the brow across the top ends up making a big glare reflection. So the PDR almost captures a reflection as opposed to what's in front of you. So it kind of messes with the whole PDR quality. And given that the car is so low, the brow is more for aesthetics. It doesn't provide the functionality of actually blocking out the sunlight. So I ended up holding off on that. If you're considering it, keep that in mind. The PDR is impacted with the tint on the brow. And like I said with the last Corvette, the Z51 produces a significant amount of brake dust, so I think ceramicing the wheels is just a really nice to have. It makes things a lot better, and it makes it much easier to keep the car clean. These wheels came coated with like adhesive because these are the accessory wheels, but on the Space Stingray, these ship separate. On this C8R edition, the wheel actually ships on the car from the factory, and what that means is they put some kind of like plasticky film on this, and this thing was like caked in glue. And it took the installer for the ceramic coating and the tint and stuff like 5 different solvents to actually get this wheel clean. So the big reason why I didn't do PPF on this car is it's probably the best version of protection, but being somebody that wants to share feedback and content, a cheaper alternative, and I've already noticed a big difference, is this car has the splash guards as well as the rocker extensions, and this protects the rockers from minor chips. Obviously things can get around the car, but the splash guards do also a great job of keeping a lot of the things that the tire catches and tosses up, keeps it down. And so I'm actually hearing a significant reduction in the noise of things kicking up and hitting the side of the car with the C8 so far, because as you can see where I drive, hopefully the tires can show it, there's a lot of seashells on some of these back roads. And so things are constantly kicking up the side of the car, and that's what I noticed in the last C8. I had the paint protection film. A year later, not a single nick or notch on the side, so we'll have to see how this kind of setup makes a difference to the side and the rockers of the C8 after some time. If it ends up doing more damage, then obviously the XPEL is a better option, but I'm going to find that out for everyone and share that probably down the line on the channel. So it'll be cool to compare and contrast that. In terms of the front end protection package, I have a full video breaking down the impacts of the paint protection film and what it protected against and what areas were most vulnerable after a full year. And so keeping that in mind, I want to try something a little bit different on the front instead of paint protection film, a more cost-effective alternative, so you're not dropping, thousands of dollars on paint protection film, but see if a cheaper alternative provides some level of good protection without the expensive cost associated with it. So yeah, where were we on pricing? I may actually end up hitting that 8-minute mark, but $1,295 for the 5-year Ceramic Pro package, $200 for the wheel and calipers on the inside of the wheels and the calipers, $100 for the ceramic tint on the front 2 windows. And if you have not seen ceramic in action, we'll go add a little bit of water right here, and just nothing. I mean, there's no contamination to this car at all. Like there's maybe like 2 little beads of water, but everything is just pretty much off. And well, that's also because this car was ceramic coated maybe 6-7 hours ago. And when I say 6-7 hours ago, it was actually done over the weekend, and I ended up picking it up this morning, so 6-7 hours ago. But it's stored indoor and the coating was baked under some lighting, so it's pretty much on there and it's set. I'm not just pouring water on freshly coated ceramic. But it's really cool to compare the impacts of this versus the video that I did a full year later on the last C8 to see the impacts of ceramic coating fade after a full year. Now keep in mind, installer did educate me a little bit. The ceramic coating may lose some of its hydrophobic properties, but that's actually because after a year of driving, the brakes also kicks up some iron that embeds itself into the coating. So it's very important if you do ceramic coat your Corvette every year to at least yourself, or you can take it to the detailer and it wouldn't cost a ton, as they would just decontaminate the surface. So they take the iron particles out of the paint. The ceramic coating would then be able to reheal flat, and water would be beating off just like this after a full year. And so now the part that everyone is here for, the seats. As you guys remember, I had a bunch of wear on the bolsters after a full year. Morgan Crosby of Cars and Crosby, huge fan, actually pointed something out in one of his most recent videos that actually puts context around why I was experiencing this wear. He pointed out that the C5, C6s, and C7s had premature wear, and it's not really premature, but the seats were wearing the same way my C8 seats were because of UV light damaging or at least wearing down the seat material quicker. And so this year with this Corvette, I plan on being more mindful. I'll back into places so the sun is facing the back side of the car as opposed to coming through the front windshield to try to prevent the amount of heat that gets in here. But I also had the seats ceramic coated, which is a first. I've never had that done before, and you can instantly feel the difference of a ceramic coated seat versus a regular seat. It's a lot smoother. The surface, I think the graininess in the surface is a little bit more flatter. They do a fantastic job of cleaning the seat up, and then they ceramic coat it, which is additional protection against not only UV rays, but actually like when you're sitting in the seat and you're making contact, that contact is less damaging of the seat because the ceramic layer on top provides a little bit of protection. I think it's also going to make it much easier to keep these seats clean and looking white as opposed to getting markings around it from regular usage. Now, I did only have the seats done. I did not have the entire interior done because you can get the entire interior done, but I want to start with the seats and kind of test this out and share my feedback around it. And so the cost of the 2 seats that I was charged was $150, but again, I think that was a friends and family discount. I think it's a little bit closer to $200 if you had to do it outright, but for $150 with all the other stuff that I had done to it, I got a fantastic deal, and I can actually share with everybody what the wear and tear on this car is going to look like. I'm already starting to notice some of the yellows showing stretch marks, and as you saw in the 2020 video, I'll link that in the description. This is something that worries me about the C8 Corvette. It's 10 years from now. What do these seats look like if maybe 10 days from now, 11 days now, this is what the seats are starting to look like. But just to show the impact, I dropped a couple drops of water on the seat, and you can see they're beaded up just like they are on the paint of the vehicle. So the same hydrophobic property, dirt, grime, and debris isn't going to stick and embed itself to the seat as quickly enough, which is going to do a great job of keeping the yellow looking yellow as opposed to a little bit of murky brownness that could embed itself like it did with the tan. And just like that, you wipe it clean and nothing sticks. And you can see even the side seam, this is where the water would actually like end up going into the seat and into the foam of the seat. But since they ceramic coat all the edges and all the seams, the water is actually not sucking in even at the seam. So all in all, this is the protection approach that I am taking with the C8 Corvette. Stay tuned to see what I do for the front end of the car. So instead of, like, I think it was close to $4,000, I'm in this for around $1,400 for protection since I didn't do any of the XPEL. And it'll be interesting to see the rock chips, wear markings, and all that stuff compared to the last Corvette that this Corvette experiences with the different approach to paint protection that I go with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and you found it informative. Most of all, that's the thing that I try to strive for. It's not super exciting content, but it is content nonetheless, and I appreciate all the love and support that you guys show me on a regular basis. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. It helps more people find the video. YouTube promotes it a little bit more. Leaving a comment brings the average engagement score up, and I look forward to sharing all those statistics in the next couple of weeks as we hit the 1-year mark of monetization. So that's all that I have for today's video. Hopefully I can continue making content on a consistent basis like I have for the last couple months, and you guys continue enjoying it and finding it helpful. So with that said, as always, I look forward to seeing all of you down below in the comment section.